Don't believe it. Chapter 34. And on spoke the Lord, never tiring from instructing the multitude, his people. Okay, we're going to take Canaan, and I'm going to give it to you. So the Lord drew up the borders from the desert of Zin up by Edom, on the east by the Dead Sea, still called that, south by the Akrahhim to Zin, somewhere to Egypt, and the Mediterranean is the west line. The Mediterranean was called the Great Sea. At the time of the Torah, the Atlantic and Pacific were unknown. It doesn't mean they didn't exist. Northern line from Mediterranean, well, look at a fucking map. The place is called Israel. And obviously something happened because the Holy Scriptures were before Jesus Christ, 1 or 2,000 years. And there is a big space to 1948 when they finally got permission from the second beast to invade what the locals then called Palestine. Anyway, 9.5 tribes still needed land. Isaiah and Joshua were to set up the distribution. If you can't remember who they were, don't worry. They are just random names in a book of nonsense. Believe perhaps because it is so impossibly tedious that it looks like one of those fucking books you gotta read in science class about the history of termites. The effect, however, is holy justification for a horde of genocide freaks, who were the holy priest. Let us not for a moment accuse the sheep of being more or less than sheep, more than willing to sacrifice even their own people to get what they wanted, world domination. And it did not matter if it was 24,000 or 6 million. I'm allowed to say that? The first beast, the lion, the second beast, well, ask the natives of America, the Americas. Hey, then, what's your religion? The story is a story and tells us only the tales of the men's club, the books of the wars of the lords, and they are all horror fairy tales. Put them down and come to the table of protocol. Now, that even confused me a little bit. Yeah, it's always justification for murder. And maybe we'll make that clear again. A lot of people think that war isn't murder because you have to fight. And maybe there are some cases, of course. If you're being invaded, then you're going to have to defend your country. But most of the time, countries are invaded. And those who are invading are the murderers. And people say, well, there's a difference between killing and murdering. Not to the ones that are dead. I mean, you're still dead. And if you're a 14-year-old kid and somebody shoots you in the head, it doesn't make much difference to you if it was because it was a soldier who thought he was doing his duty, or it was some prick who wanted to rob you of $20. What's the difference? You're still fucking dead. And your duty is always to the rich motherfuckers who were raping the goddamn land. We've got to get over this idea of sucking up to these rich motherfuckers. And I don't mean the super rich. I mean, why did America go into Iraq? Because they had oil. And it's as simple as that. We're going in there to rob them of oil. And it's what happened. The oil is being robbed today. Iraq is being robbed of oil. 90% of it goes to the big multinational oil tycoons. They get stinky rich. I mean, they own the fucking planet. Governments don't have any power. Especially not the American. Joke.